Okay, I think we should start. So, hey guys, welcome. So, I'll just start sharing my screen. So, can anyone confirm?
Yeah, the screen is visible.
Okay, fine. So yeah. So for today, you guys will be making your first contribution to open source. So uh, what is open source? Basically, these are softwares that are made together by the community. So many famous ones are like WnCC Media Player, Mozilla Firefox. These are not made by any particular company. They might be managed by a company, but everyone can contribute to them. So that's about open source. What we'll do today is we'll make our first contribution. So right now, till this time, we have just been using these softwares, and not many of us think about contributing to it. So today we'll take our first step towards it, and there is a particular process that you need to follow. So we'll go about that process. We'll not reinvent the wheel today. I'll not explain everything that's involved. uh, I'll explain all the major chunk, and I encourage you people to ask as many doubts as you can. You can write it in the chat box, and someone can actually inform you. Okay. So yeah. So first, let's go to the roadmap of what we'll exactly do today. So I'll introduce you to some basic terms. Uh, so like repository, push, pull, clone. If these terms do not seem to make sense, like not worry, we'll discuss these terms, what they mean. Then I'll show you how to make a contribution. So I'll make a contribution and you people can watch it. I'll walk you through the contribution. And then I'll ask you to do that same contribution. So once I'll show you how to make it, and then you will make the contribution. At that point of time, we'll be here. You can ask your doubt if you are having any problem. And so by the end of the session, you will have made a contribution by yourself. And the process to contribute remains same for every uh, place you need to contribute to. So yeah, that is the roadmap that we are going to follow today. So any doubts till now about what we are going to do? Okay, I can see the chat box is empty. Okay, fine. So let's move on. So for basic terms, so we'll start with repository. So I am assuming that everyone knows what GitHub is. Is there someone who does not know what GitHub is? So I can actually explain that if there's someone who wants. Okay, so I take that my assumption is correct. So everyone here knows what GitHub is, right? So in GitHub, this folder is called a repository. The repository is something where your files are stored. So let us say, and these repositories can be personal repositories. These can be made by an organization, and these can be repositories that are like made by someone else, and you can contribute to these. So for example, like this is my GitHub profile, and let us suppose this is a repository. So like this is my repository, personal repository, where I keep my notes for Kaggle courses, and this is C Python. So this is a repository that is the official repository of Python language. So right now I have forked it, and I'll explain what fork means. So that's what a repository is. Repository is just a folder. Uh, yeah, then I'll say what upstream, clone, and origin are. Okay. So upstream, origin, and clone or local repository are the names for the repositories that are that you are going to contribute to. So you fork a repository. So let us suppose I want to contribute to Python. So I'll fork a repository. So that fork will be the copy of that repository in my account of GitHub. So let us suppose you want to make some changes in the Python official language. So you cannot straight away make that change in the repository that has the original content. You will actually have to copy that repository to your own account. And let us suppose now if you want to make some changes, you cannot run that repository, or like if there is a Python file, you cannot run that Python file on GitHub itself. You will need to download it to your machine. So that is your local repository. So finally, upstream, origin, and local are versions of same thing. You fork it and you take it to your GitHub account, and then you clone it, you take it to your machine. Everything will be more clear. If it's a little fuzzy, it will be more clear when I show it to you. And local is where you actually make your changes. You start making your changes, and then you push your changes. Like if I have added an extra file, so I'll add that extra file to origin, and then I'll make a pull request that actually leads us to the way to add that file to original repository. So yeah, push, pull, issue, pull request, etc. Push and pull. So what do we mean by push? It's like very intuitive. Let us suppose I have a code in my, I have added a file in my local repository. So, and I need to update it in my GitHub accounts repository. That is the origin. So I'll push my code from my machine to the GitHub account. Okay. So now my local machine and origin would have the same code. What do we mean by pull? Now it is again very intuitive. So let us suppose there is a person who manages the Python repository. So I'll assume that upstream is the remote Python repository that has actual content of Python. So you want to push your code from origin to upstream, but the other person will pull your code. So you will make a pull request so that the person pulls your code. Fine. Issue is something that you feel that there is a bug in the software, or there is a documentation error. You can raise an issue, and then people can actually see how that can be solved. Pull request, branch. Okay, let's go through branch as well. So in this repository, there are branches. So Git is actually a version control system. So there can be two things in version control. Like once there is the history of everything that happened, and second is that you can actually create multiple copies of the same thing at the same time. So these are branches. So on different branches, there can be different versions of the same thing. And it would be more clear when I show you. Okay. So I'll not take doubts at this point because I'm pretty sure that some terms would be not clear. I'll show you one demo run, and after this, we'll take your doubts. Okay. So now we'll make a contribution using GitHub Desktop first, because I think it is more intuitive, and then we'll do it using Git Bash also. In the if you're not installed these softwares, so in the meantime, I suggest that you do, because till we get to the point where I'll show you how to will when it's your turn to do it, you'll have these things installed. These are like pretty small softwares. Okay. Okay, so for the purpose of showing your first contribution, so this is a very famous repository called First Contributions. So what we'll do is, you can see a bunch of files here. So what we need our hello. So our concern is for contributors.md. So what we'll need to do is we'll open this contributors.md and we'll have to add our name at the bottom of this file. So that is what I'll show you how to do, and that is what you will eventually do. Okay. So see, this is the upstream. So this account is not mine. This is first contributions. The name of the account is first contributions and name of the repository is the first contributions. Now I'll firstly fork the repository. So let's see what happens when I fork the repository. So forking the repository makes a copy of the repository first contributions in my account. So you can see that now it says Manan Garg first contributions forked from first contributions first contribution. Now this is the copy of that repository into my account. The changes I'll make will not affect the original one. This is called origin. This copy, the forked copy, is called origin. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll clone this repository. So using git bash, you need the URL. Firstly, I'll show with GitHub desktop. So you press open with GitHub desktop. There seems to be a problem. Yeah. So now I'm cloning first contributions into my machine. Okay. So I have cloned this repository and this is now in my local system. Now what I'll do, I'll need to make a change. So you do not make a change in master branch because master branch is at that point of time the perfect branch. So that is the working branch. So you do not straight away make your changes there. You create a new branch. So let us suppose we create a new branch, and let us we name it WnCC first content. Now I am on this branch. Now I'll go to my system. So you can see that there is a, these are the files of first contributions and in my system, and this is the clone. Okay. Now what I need to do is I need to add my name to the list of contributors. So I'll open this. Let us open it with Atom. So you can see here the file contributors.md has opened. Now I just need to make a change. So I'll add my name and then I'll add my GitHub account. That okay, and now I'll save this file. So this file has been saved. Now I'll close it. Now I'll go to my GitHub desktop. So GitHub desktop actually automatically senses that whether you have changed any file or not. So you can see that in the file contributors.md, I have added my name. So it will be now visible in GitHub desktop. Now we need to commit to WnCC first country. So remember, WnCC first country was the name of our branch. Now we need to commit this change. Commit is just the open source word for save. So we need to save this change to this branch. So I'll commit. I'm committing it in my local repository. Okay. Now what I need to do, let's look again at the diagram. Okay. So yeah, this diagram. So see what have we done till now. From upstream, we have forked the origin. Then we have cloned the local. We have made changes. Now it's time to push the code, right? So let us see. Firstly, let us see that is there any change here that has happened. So this is my origin. Let's see contributors.md in origin. So you can see the last name is Akshat Kumar. My name is right now not there. That's okay. Now you see in GitHub desktop, there is an option of publish branch. So now what this publish branch would do is it will add my branch, that WnCC first country, to my origin. That is the repository in my account. Okay. So now it says that, okay, branch has been published to GitHub. Let's see what changes happened in GitHub. Okay. So this is my origin. See, in branches, there is master, and now I can see WnCC first country. Let's go to that branch. Now you can see my name is in this list. Okay. So now we'll make a pull request. So now we have made all the changes that we needed to do in our local repository, and we have pushed those changes in our origin. That is the repository in our account. Now I want the first contributions person to actually add my changes. So whenever you will make some changes, you will get this kind of thing that WnCC first country had recent pushes less than a minute ago. Compare and pull request. So these are the heading you can give, and if you want to leave a comment, you can leave. So see, what are the changes that's going to happen? So this is comparing WnCC first country branch to base branch, that is master of the remote repository. And it would be, the changes would be made from our repository to the base repository. So now this branch would be merged in the original repository. So let's create pull request. Okay. So now you can see, so this is an automated system. So that first contributions bot has actually accepted my pull request. Now you can see that I am on first contribution. That was my upstream. Let's see, are my changes visible? So yeah, now in the remote repository, my name's there. So that was it. That is how you make your contribution, right? So now I'll show you how to do this contribution using Git Bash. Before I move on, now do you have any doubts with the terms involved? Anyone? Anything's not clear? I'll actually open that slide. So I think everyone's clear about repository and branch. That's not a problem, I suppose. Upstream, clone, origin, push, pull request. Anyone like? they have not understood that which is which. Okay, so let's move on. One more like interesting thing about this diagram is you can see this cloud. So this signifies that upstream and origin actually are not on the system, they are on the cloud. They are in remote locations, and local is the one that's there with you. Okay, now I'll
Manan,
do
there are a
my
couple of
second demo.
doubts in chat section, so you can check them once.
Okay, okay, yeah, sure. Okay, fine. What is the meaning of remote repository? Okay, let me first see what all the doubts are. What happens in previous repo from which the data is pushed pulled? Okay, what is git bash for? Okay, we can open .md files with any text editor. Yeah, .md files could be opened with any text editor. Okay, it is important to create a branch. Yes, actually you might as well contribute to master branch of your origin, but that's a workflow that's preferred because you do not want to mess up with something that's already working, like, and you will eventually if you do some changes that breaks your workflow, then you will have to actually go back to either the older version, or you will have to delete the repository and then fork it again. So it is actually a good thing to manage your content in branches. Pull request and a pull difference. Okay, I'll take that. Can we not do changes in master? We can do changes in master, like there is no compulsion about making a new branch, but it is preferred to make a new branch. Which text editor is preferable to use? Yeah, I like Atom personally, but like you can prefer any text editor. Atom actually works for everything, so it's a good one. Difference between local and origin. Okay, so I'll actually explain the terms again. Fine, that is the overall understanding that I get. Okay, upstream, clone, origin, push, pull, and pull request. This is what I need to explain again. So see, I'll show you. This is the first contributions homepage. So this is account of some other person, like whoever is managing this organization. This is that person's account, and I am not authorized to change anything in this without their permission. Okay, so let us suppose I open contributors.md. There is okay, this is actually opening. I have no right to edit this right away. I need to edit this in my own fork, right? So what do I do if I need to make a contribution? I cannot directly edit their files. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll copy this file in my account. So when I'll copy this file in my account, I will be able to make changes to that. Okay. So that is the origin. Upstream or the remote repository is the one that is with the other person. You cannot directly make changes to that. If you have to contribute something, you'll have to make a copy of it. The copy of it, that copy of it in your GitHub account is called origin. Now, if you need to make changes, like the change we made is actually quite basic. We are adding the name. We could have directly added it from origin itself. But if you need to make change in codes, you have to actually run the code. You cannot run code here. You have to actually make a copy of it in your system and then run the code. Fine. So that is the clone or the local repository. Okay, where do you find repositories which you want to contribute to or that are open for yeah, I'll come to that. Do we have to merge branches later? Yeah, if you want to. It's a good practice to actually merge them when you are quite sure that okay, everything's working fine and there will be no further changes that I need to make. Can you show once more how you forked? Yeah, I'll show you. Okay, so that is about upstream, origin, and clone. So these are three names of the same thing which are running at three different places. Okay, what do we mean by push and pull? So see, when I published a branch, so there was a publish branch option. What I did was I pushed my changes to my this repository, to my origin repository. Origin is the repository into my account. So let us suppose, assume that your code is a, say a bag full of stones. Fine. And local machine is your own machine. Now you want to transfer that bag to the origin. So you will have to push that bag to the origin. So when you will push it, uh, your changes will be visible in your origin. Now, to make your changes visible in the actual repository, that is the upstream, you will have to push your bag into that repository. But think it from the perspective of the other person who is managing that repository. That person has to pull their code. So for that, you will make a pull request. Fine. Okay. Now I'll show you how to do this using Git Bash. So I'll actually just delete this so that it does not interfere. Let us delete this too. Okay. So now we'll do it all again using Git Bash. So first step remains the same. You have to fork the repository. So there is a option on the side on this GitHub that allows you to fork. So now your fork is here. Now what you will do, what we'll open Git Bash. How to select a project to contribute to? Yeah, we'll come to that. So the clone, origin, and original are three separate versions of the code. Yeah, that is what it is. According to my flow diagram, when a pull is done, it copies the repo from upstream to local. Yeah, so this pull is actually called fetch. So that's a minor ambiguity in this diagram, but I'll come to this point. So git bash is nothing but it actually is a terminal kind of thing. Like if you people have used Ubuntu, so this is the terminal. So see, these were the steps that we followed previously. We forked the repository, we cloned it, we made a new branch, we edited, then we straight away committed. Like using GitHub desktop, you do not need to do this add thing. Using Git, you need to do it. Then we pushed our code to origin. Then we made a pull request. So we'll again follow these steps here. Okay. Firstly, what you need to do is when you just click on this code window, you will see the URL of your fork. You need to copy it to your clipboard. Okay. Now you have to write into your local machine. Yeah, so let's wait for this to complete. Okay, so now we have a clone of our fork in our local machine. Now what we'll need to do is we need to go to the directory. Directory is just a name for folder. Okay, so we need to go inside our first contributions folder. So we'll do cd first contributions. Okay, so now you can see you I'll actually make it big. So now we are in desktop first contributions, that is my clone, and the branch is master. Okay, now I need to create a new branch. So in GitHub desktop we created a new branch from the drop down menu that was available. We actually have a command for that, that is git checkout. So if you do git checkout -b and name of our branch again WnCC first. Okay, now what it will do, it will create a new branch which is named as WnCC first, and it will switch us to that branch. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to make our changes in our local machine. Okay, so again we'll go to first contribution. Okay, okay, so this time I'll maybe add my name with the middle name or initials of the middle name. Fine. And I'll save it. So when we were in GitHub desktop, it actually showed us what the changes were. And for this to happen in git bash, we need to see, we need to type git status. So what git status will do, it will tell us that is there any difference between the things that were downloaded and uh, the stuff we did after we downloaded it. So obviously there's a difference. We modified the file called contributors.md. So if you read what it says on branch WnCC first, changes not staged for commit. Do not worry what this line means. Use git add file to update what will be committed. Use git restore file to discard changes in working right file. So it says that we have modified contributors.md. Okay. Now we need to add it. So add is just an extra option to actually make better version of the things that we do. It's completely fine if you straight away commit in this scenario, but you should add it. So git add contributors.md. So I'm adding to the WnCC first branch because that is the branch I am on. Okay, so this is done. Now I'll commit. So for that I'll use git commit -m. I'm using -m because I want to write a description. So I'll write a description, made my first contribution. Okay, so now you can see that on our branch, we have one changed file. Now the next step is pushing it to the origin. So let's just take a step back here. We cloned it using git clone. We made a new branch using git checkout. then we edited our file, then we added using git add, then we committed using git commit. Now is the time to push our clone to the origin. Okay, and after that we'll make a pull request. So to push, what we need to do is git push, push to what? Push to origin. And gish put or gish put, sorry, git push origin and the name of the branch. Let's see what happens. So it says that there's a new branch and the changes are made. Let us go. Now here we are again. You can see that it says that WnCC first had recent pushes. So see, last time we made WnCC first country. So this is a completely different thing. And here you can see the name of the branch is WnCC first. Let's check our file. So you see now the second name is also there. Now what remains is to make a pull request. So pull request is actually same for both. You have to make your pull request using GitHub only. So just click on compare and pull request. So see, we while writing, while making the commit, we made my first contribution. So this is the thing that it shows here. So I'll create this pull request. And yes, so it says that this pull request has also been accepted. Just so let's just check it out. So now this is the upstream. So this is the remote repository that I do not actually have any control over. Now let's see that whether we have made the contribution or not. So you can see both names are there. So we did this using two methods. So as far as which method is better is concerned, like almost everyone believes that git bash is better. That might be counterintuitive to you at this point of time, but once you get a hang of it, uh, you actually use git bash only. But that's okay. Like if you want to use GitHub desktop, that is also okay. But you might eventually switch. Okay. Any questions? Yeah, here's the chat box. Okay. Pull request is to be questioned by Sam. Pull request is to be made to the one whose repository we want to make contributions to, right? Yeah, exactly. This is like, uh, you have explained everything in one line. So we need to make a contribution to someone's repository. We make those changes in our own repository and then we make a pull request. So we say to him that, okay, I have made changes, pull those changes in your repository. Please go a bit slower. Okay, like I have skipped that part. We can do all things in GitHub desktop, then why are we using terminal? GitHub desktop, yeah, that is what it is. Like once people get used to the terminal, they do not like the graphic user interface. It's okay if you want to use GitHub desktop. These are both the ways of doing stuff. I think things will be faster when you use bash for big projects. Yes, exactly. And there are like many more commands that you can do with bash. Does Git Bash provide same functionality as GitHub? Personally, I prefer an application style UI to a terminal style UI. Yeah, Git Bash is where GitHub desktop originates, right? So at any point or any day, Git Bash will have all the functionalities, and GitHub would be its successor. So Git Bash will have all the functionalities. How to pull repo? Okay, so pull repo, I assume that Ashit wants to ask that how to pull the upstream repo to our clone. Okay, so we'll discuss that after we do the application stuff. Okay, so that's I think all the doubts for now. Now's the time when you will do it. Okay, so I'll just keep this slide on. So these are the steps, and people here, like there are 2 to 3 conveners, and I think 4 to 5 people are here. So they will help you. You can start. So use GitHub desktop if you have installed it. Open your GitHub account. Okay. Oh, sorry. Open your GitHub account and go to first contributions. Just type first contributions and you will get this. Yeah. So now like we need a mechanism by which I can know that you people are standing somewhere. So I'll say to do one thing, like right now I have said that go to your GitHub account and open first contributions. So once you are done with it, you can all raise your hand. Okay. So that I know that I need to move forward. So right now we are doing it using GitHub desktop. What exactly is commit? Commit is just save. Commit is just other word for save. Okay. So I'll just do the step one. I'll So let us suppose I am at my GitHub account window. What I'll do is type first contributions, then you will get this repository, and I need to land on this page. That is all what I have to do. What you have to do actually, I have done it. So you people can raise your hand if you have reached this step. Okay. So, okay, 10, 11 people have done it. Okay, number is increasing. So I'll wait for 2 to 3 minutes. So yeah, the people who have completed like actually kind of have to bear it with me, but it's okay. Like take your time. People who have not done it, land on the first contributions page. And like just in case that you do not have a GitHub account, or you haven't installed stuff, then to raise your hand so that I know the actual count of people who are actually struggling with it. Not created account. Yeah. So if you have not created account, then just raise your hand. What to search for? First contributions. Yeah, someone has added the link in the chat box if you want. If you have not created account, if you do not have GitHub desktop or Git right now, you can actually download it. It will just take 2 to 3 minutes, I suppose. Aishwarya, yeah, I'll discuss this thing, that how to actually contribute to a project. No, you cannot search for repositories on GitHub desktop. GitHub desktop is your uh, local system. But yeah, I think let me just check. Maybe like there is an option to do that. No, no, there is no option. So if you are feeling that you are not getting anything, ask. Like, this is something that's not very intuitive. It took me like days to figure out what this is. Okay, now I think like it's a fairly good amount of people who are actually on the landing page. Uh, People who are not there, like you can ping the conveners. Okay, fine. So let's move on to the next step. So now everyone can lower their hands. Should we clone the original? No, we always clone the forked repository. We do not clone the upstream. We clone the forked repository. That's a good question asked by Darren. Okay, so you have landed on this page. Wait, first I have to do something. I have to delete this repository so that I can show it to you again. Okay, so everyone is landed on this page. Now the next step is fork. To fork this repository. So there is a on the right side there is an option to fork. Just click on it, select your account, and wait. When you are done after this step, raise your hands. So now you can see I have the first contribution repository in my own account. Okay, yeah, yeah. This was an easy step. So hand raise is quite fast. if you are kind of left behind, please ask the please message the conveners. They are there to help you. And I'm like again saying that this is something that's not quite intuitive when you do it like first 2 to 3 times. So do not feel shy in asking anything. Okay, so I kind of feel that the same number of people who had actually landed on that page have been able to fork this repository. Okay, so now we'll move on to the next step. So let's see what our next step is. So fork, yeah, now we need to clone. Okay, so we are doing it using GitHub desktop first. Okay, so go to this code button in your origin, then press open with GitHub desktop. This will a dialog box will open, clone a repository. Click on clone. There is something in the chat box. What will happen if we click fork again? Try it. I think like it will not do anything. Yeah, Divyansh answered it. It is showing I cannot fork because I own it. Okay, Sachin is asking how can I see my contribution? Okay, we'll come to that. We'll come to that in a while. So here it will show you to you have changes on this branch. What would you like to do with them? Select the first option to contribute to the parent project. That is what we're gonna do and continue. So now we have cloned our repository. Raise hands. People who have been able to do it till here. Okay, I'll just wait for 1 minute or so. Yeah, I think fairly good amount of people have been able to come to this step. Fine. Uh, Let me see what the doubts are. I have contributed, but it is not showing my name. Okay, let's just wait for a while. How does Git help me alone? I mean, without using GitHub Desktop. GitHub Desktop and Git are like same things that do different version of the same thing. You can use one thing alone. GitHub Desktop is just a fancier way to do contribution because it has a good graphical user interface. So this branch is 7 commits behind first contribution master. The original was updated after I forget how to fix this. There is nothing to fix in this. What was the add feature? Add feature is actually there when we'll use git bash. So we'll come to that. Okay. Now we have cloned our repository. So now in your laptop, search first contributions. That will lead you to the folder. And in that you will see the file contributors. So open it with if you do not have Atom, open it with WordPad. So this time I'll open it with WordPad. So you can see it's the same file. Go to the bottom and add your name. So I see that after I have done it, Tanisha Khandelwala has also done it. Great, that's great. So come to this step. Make changes. Make changes and again come on GitHub desktop. So I suppose I also need to make some change in order to, I don't know how many times I'll add my name here today. This time I'll only add my first name. Okay, so save it and come to GitHub desktop. So if you have reached this step, raise hands. Okay, fine. Okay, people have already raised hands. If you have saved, you have added your name into your local repository and you have come to a GitHub desktop and it shows something like this, you will not have to do anything. It will automatically show you this. So if you are at this position, then raise your hands. We are going really slow for this one. We'll actually go slow for the next one also. You are not getting the file with my name. No, like it must be there. Like that pull request had been accepted. Oh yeah, sorry. I did not create a new branch. Oh, my bad. Okay, so we had to create a new branch. I missed that step. Okay, I'll make a new branch and switch branch. Actually, it would not matter much in my case, but yeah, I should have made a new branch. So you make a new branch and make changes in there. I'll just make the changes in master itself this time. Okay, so yeah, now I see that, okay, raise hands are fine. I think we can take it a little fast from here. So all you need to do is commit. And after you see, here you will see publish branch. In my case, I am seeing push origin because I have edited master branch only. So click on publish branch. And once you are done, go to your origin. Origin is the repository in your own account. Yeah, chat box. Yeah, for it it must be showing push origin. That's fine. You also have made changes in the master branch. What to do after adding name? Nothing, just add name, save that file and go to the GitHub desktop. Okay. Okay. So if you people had created a branch, it would be showing you create pull request here. In my case, I had done it with master, so it is showing the branches one commit ahead. Well, actually, let me just yeah, fine. So you can click the compare and pull request button there. I'll click the pull request here. Okay, okay. So there will be an error. So you cannot merge master branch here directly. Fine. Like if you, so if you are a person who has actually made changes directly to the master branch, uh, please raise your hands down, means down your hands. Okay, cool. So the people who have made the branch, they can create the pull request. Uh, for the ones who could not make the pull request, like, okay, there was just one mistake that we did not create a branch. We'll do that using Git, and we'll do that using Git now, and we'll actually make sure that we create a new branch. Okay. So that time you will be able to see your pull request. Can you just repeat this last step of creating new branch and then making pull request? Uh, okay, so you people are telling me it is still showing the same error. Okay, so I do not quite know what's that for. Cool. So that is something that's not quite in our control. Maybe the bot is down or something. Fine. Okay, so maybe I'll need a poll. Everyone, please. Uh, what do we say? Raise down your hands, right? Raise your hands down. Put your hands down. Okay. Okay. So, how many of you want to do this GitHub desktop version again? 4 to 5 people have raised their hands. 4 to 5 people had already had their hands raised. Okay. So we'll do it again, but we'll do it quick. Okay. Fine. So put your hands down. What do you need to do? Firstly, delete your repository. So for deleting, go into settings, scroll down, there you'll see this danger zone, and you'll see delete this repository. So just copy paste and delete. After that, I need you to delete your first contributions file in your laptop. So search for first contributions, this file, delete this file. Okay. So now when we have deleted all the stuff, again go to first contributions. Um, fork it. You will have your fork. Now clone it to your GitHub desktop. Yeah, clone this repository. Okay. Uh, Now, if you have reached this step, raise your hands. Yes, so I'll wait for 2 to 3 minutes. So this is the step where we messed up last time. Okay, we did not create a new branch. So yeah, so like if you are here, raise your hand, and this time we'll make sure that we create a branch. Let me see chat box if there are any doubts. Okay, there are many doubts. Um, once more, yeah, we did it once more. Pull request accept नहीं होगा. Let's see. I mean, for my local version is the last entry, but some more have contributed to the remote file. So there is a mismatch. Is that causing error? Might be. When why do we use GitHub desktop when we can do the same stuff online? You can do this stuff online for like adding your name to contributors.md is the thing you can do online. But let us suppose you have a Python file, let us say. When you are making changes to it, you will have to run that code. So to run that code, you need to have that file in your machine. This is a very easy example we are doing. So when you're actually contributing, the major part is where you make the change. In our example, it is the least significant part. We are just adding our name. Please tell equivalent steps in bash. Yeah, we'll do it. Uh, your previous branch did not get deleted because you did not delete the first contribution previous clone of your first contribution repository. So what I'll suggest you to do is uh, delete all your first contributions repository from your machine. That is the clones you have made, and then once again make a clone. That is from 1 to 3. Cool. So that was all the doubts. So now make a new branch, whatever name you want. I'm making WnCC contributions. Oh, sorry. Click on new branch. Okay. So when you have made the new branch, go to first contributions, open contributors. You may open it with WordPad. I'll open it to that end. Go to the bottom. So you can see Harsh Kumar, Tanisha Khandelwal, Rishabh Jain have done it. I'll add my name again. Save it. Close it. And you can see the changes that have been made. If you are here, raise your hands. And keep your hand raised if you have reached this step. If you are able to see the changes. Sachin has said my pull request has not been accepted. We'll see that maybe there's a problem, like the first two ones I made got accepted and now the last one. Probably it stores it in documents. Git branch name, git checkout. I'll come to that. Cannot automatically merge. Okay, so I think there is a problem. Problems not with us. Okay, so you have come to this step. Now commit to WnCC contributions. After this, publish your branch. After you have published your branch, go to your uh, uh, origin, and you can see, as in my screen, there is WnCC contributions at recent pushes less than a minute ago. Click on compare and pull request. Okay, so it's showing me cannot automatically merge. Don't worry, you can still create the pull request. So okay, that's not an issue. Create pull request. Okay, so when it will get merged, you will get a notification or something. Yeah, you will actually get a notification on your mail. So it's okay, like if it has not merged yet, that is where we end this procedure. Do we need to publish our branch after committing? Yes. Committing means that you save it on your local repository. Publishing means that you transfer those changes to your origin. Okay. Okay, so now if you are done till this step, raise your hand. Okay, so people have raised their hands. Okay. So now I'll tell you so like someone has pointed out correctly, I have seen it just now. The error is because of the branch you have actually committed is behind the branch from which you have fetched. Okay, like that did not come out really well. Let me rephrase it again. Okay, so when you forked it, so let us suppose your branch was in your origin. While you were doing the changes, many more people did some changes. Okay, so at that point of time, there was a conflict between your repository and the remote repository. So because of that, we had the error. So we'll solve this error using git bash. Okay. So after creating pull request, it shows this branch has conflicts that must be resolved. Uh, okay. Do not do anything now. Uh, I'll tell you how to fix this. I'm not telling you this right now because it might become a little complicated. But yeah, so that was it using GitHub desktop. Okay, that problem will resolve that or not automatically able to merge will resolve that problem. But now we'll use it doing git bash. So except for the problem, everyone was able to make a pull request, right? Except for that cannot automatically merge thing. Shows conflicts. Yeah, if it's showing conflicts, it's okay. Okay, so now I'm going to explain something to you. Okay, so see, you actually forked from upstream, you made origin, you made local branch. Okay, uh, so let us suppose you made your changes in, let us say, a week. But the time a week has passed, there could have been many other changes in your upstream, right? There are many other people contributing to the same thing. So there are changes there. So how do I incorporate those changes in origin and in local? Okay, how do you do that in GitHub desktop? You click this fetch origin. So this says fetch origin, but when you click it, it actually fetches origin as well as it fetches upstream. Okay, so do this refresh thing. then make changes and then publish it to your branch. And this time you will able to make a pull request. So just click on this button. Make some changes. Yeah, I'll explain what does it do. So maybe I'll again try doing it. And you follow the same steps after that. You commit. Okay. Okay, so I am not able to find the option of pushing it in GitHub desktop. Okay, so we'll see from Git bash, we'll be able to do it. And we'll see that how the option in this works. So right now we'll leave it to that. Okay, so till that part, is everyone clear? So fetching the upstream and doing it using git bash is very easy. I'm actually not able to find the option of pushing it in GitHub desktop right now. Okay, so this time we'll do it using git bash. So okay, you people can put their hands down, and this time we'll make it really quick. So what you need to do again is actually delete everything. So delete your repository. And delete your local files too. Okay. Cool. So now we are all set to do that using git bash. Fine. So now we'll again start with this page, first contributions, fork it. Okay. So once you have forked this, yeah, so this time I suppose there will be no problem. Okay. Now copy this thing in your clipboard. So there is a this clipboard option. You click on it, and this URL will be copied. And after you do this, open git bash. And in git bash, write git clone and paste this URL. Control V will not work in git bash. You have to do right click and paste and press enter. So if you have come, your git bash option is not showing, although I have git version. So like type it in search bar. Okay. So now we now know that we have cloned our repository. Okay. So if we have reached till this step, raise your hand. You have cloned it using git bash. You just have to type git clone and then the URL of the repository and then press enter. Okay, fair amount of people. After this, do uh, CD first contributions. Actually, CD type first and then press tab. So it will automatically come. Press enter. So now it will show you that you are into first contributions and your branch is master. So now we need to create a new branch. So I'll write git checkout minus v, and then I'll write the name of the branch. WnCC, WnCC IIT B, let us say. And then press enter. So if you are done till here, now again raise your hands. Yeah, that's okay. If the desktop is not showing ahead of that. So now, if everyone has created the new branch, and so you have used the git checkout minus b and named your branch, raise your hand. Okay, again, a fair amount of people. Okay, so now you are in WnCC IIT branch. Now go to your file, means search where is first contributions, go to that folder, open contributors, and add your name and save the file. And after you have done this, after you have saved your file, type git status. Okay, so Ocean is not able to find so where her directory is. So okay, just search your first contribution, see what the path is, and then use CD again and again till you reach that path. And can any convener please help him do this? Okay. So after you have done this git status, you will see this modified contributors.md in red. So after that's done, do git add contributors.md and press git commit minus m. Minus m just it's just there so that it shows that you need to type a message along with it. If you do not do this minus m, you can actually directly do git commit and uh, everything will be fine. Git commit and I'll like to write a message. Fourth contribution and press enter. So till now, any doubt? And if you have been able to proceed correctly till this point of time, raise your hand. Yeah, so if you are not able to open your folder, like go to like search first contributions, and you'll, if you right click, you will see git bash here. So once you open git bash here, it will take you to the correct file. Okay. Okay. So now we'll proceed. So now what's left is to just push this code to origin. So we'll do git push origin and the name of our branch. So now you'll have to wait. 3 insertion, 2 deletion. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So till here, like now what, now the WnCC IITB branch has been published to your local, to your repository on your account. That is the origin. So go there and check. So like here now I can see that WnCC IITB had a recent pushes less than a minute ago. Now if you have reached there, just click on compare and pull request. So this time I'm able to merge. Why we are able to merge this time? Because we actually deleted everything, and so you might not be able to do it this time too, because I'll make a change, but that's fine. I'll show you how to update your upstream, how to update your local repository from your upstream. Okay. So now just create, click on create pull request button from here. Okay, Ashwin is saying it's working fine now. Okay. Okay, I'll show the gate window. Yeah. So now I'll wait for 2 to 3 minutes. Raise your hand if you are done with it. Yeah, it will show conflict because someone has made a contribution, right? So it once worked for someone. Now I'll tell you like how to fix that. Okay. So firstly, I'll explain you what's going on. So see, while you were making changes in your own file, someone else made a change in the upstream. Okay. So there is a change that was not present in your local repository. You pushed your code, you only added your name. But when you try to make a pull request, there's a conflict, right? Because there is some extra stuff from other people and that is not in your origin. So what do we need to do? We need to update everything like our local repository and our origin according to this upstream. So how do we do that? We do not directly update origin. we update our local machine, local repository, then we push the code to our origin, and then we make a pull request. So that resolves all conflicts. How to fetch from origin, I'll tell you. So in git bash, firstly you will have to add the upstream. Okay. So to add upstream, and now you need to take the URL of this. So go to this upstream, first contributions, then copy this, paste this here. Okay. Now do git fetch upstream. So now conflict problems are solved. Okay. So what we'll now do is we will fetch our changes from this repository to our clone, and then we'll push it to our origin. Okay, so I see hand raises here. Okay. Oh, hello. Yeah. So was someone able to make a pull request? Oh, chat box. Okay, Harsh Kumar is done. Okay, a lot of people are not done. What after push origin? After push origin, you'll able to make a pull request. Let's see. So yeah, is that working for you now? Cannot automatically merge again. I don't see what the problem is. Yeah, so like if you got fetch, then there should have been no error by now. Yeah, after that, do git push origin master. Like after you have done git fetch upstream.
When I do push origin, it is showing everything is up to date.
Okay. Then are you able to make a pull request after that?
Let me check.
Yeah.
No, it is again saying can't automatically merge. The same error. Shall I repeat the git bash process again?
Yeah, try it.
Okay.
So now I have updated everything. I'm speaking, I think like my voice is not going there. Like
You are
sometimes I
audible,
speak.
Manan.
Okay. Yeah. So if everything is up to date, then you should have been able to make the poll request. Hmm. Okay. So like I think then we should end the session here. Like I'll try to see what is causing this problem, and you can actually mail me or text me, and let's see what happens. But yeah, we were able to do it like 3 to 4 times correctly. Okay. Yeah. So that was it for it. So like steps are quite clear. This is all you have to do, and we'll see that how you look for projects. Uh, you can actually Google Summer of Code's website is a good place to start. So you can go there and see what projects do they have, and they are actually beginner friendly projects. So you can actually get good advice and some beginner friendly tasks to do. And like always ask for help. Always on the forums ask for help, and like Google everything. Like when you are not able to do something, Google it. So I urge you all to actually Google this thing. Like we are facing this problem, so it would be good if you actually Google and try to solve. Be aware. So by be aware, what I mean is that sometimes we are not in the habit of using actually seeing what needs to be changed in a software. So let us suppose there is a bug we see, but we kind of ignore it. So tend to not ignore anything you see in a software. So there is a good example of that in VLC Media Player. Uh, Actually, VLC Media Player does not show you the playback speed timer if you do not do it by fine one. So if you do at faster fine, it shows you that the increase is by 1.0.1x. But if you do it faster, it does not show you that it has increased. So that kind of thing you can do. And yes, contribute to WnCC's project. So that is the main purpose of this session, that you'll be able to contribute. And to help you contribute, WnCC has created this Hello FOSS kind of thing. So FOSS stands for free and open source software. So there are projects that are really beginner friendly: machine learning, chat application, DSA, scientific calculator, and all. So you can go there and let me just open one. So in these projects, like they have added tasks. So I'll show you the task. So let's see, they have added task one, MNIST dataset. So if you have people like done very basic machine learning, you will be able to do this task. You just need to add 2 lines of code in this task. So you have to increase the accuracy of the model. So it's a good way to contribute, because in other kind of contributions that are actually real contributions, you have to read a lot of code before you have to follow the contribution guidelines. But uh, in WnCC Hello FOSS, it's a beginner friendly thing to do. Okay. Yeah. So Yeah, you will have to fork this one. You'll have to fork this. You'll have to do exactly what we do today. You'll have to fork this. Then you'll have to clone this. Then you have to change everything. Then you need to test it on your machine. Does it run? If it runs fine, then you need to push your changes to origin, and then you need to make a pull request. Yeah. So I actually saw the website. So if you are like an absolute beginner and you do not have any idea about machine learning and anything, you can actually make a blog and contribute to this website. Okay, so there is an option of community blogs. So there are a lot of good blogs. And there is a blog like Make Your First Contribution blog, which also discusses what we did today. You can read it and you can contribute to it. So the basic procedures remains the same. Uh, that you need to fork the repository, you need to clone it, then you need to make your changes, then you need to push it to origin, and then you need to make a pull request. So I'll show you, I'll say that heavily contribute to this Hello FOSS repository because it's a very basic repository and it will give you a good hang of this. Yeah, you can start with fixing simple typos. So actually I have an image, like I'll show you what my first contribution was. So I actually contributed to Python. So Python, the official Python language, and I also did a typo fix only. So you can see building with system supplied, and I changed it to supplied. So for WnCC and for all, you can actually make real changes. But like if you're just starting, if you're not very comfortable, like in starting, we feel not everyone feels comfortable in interacting with the open source community. So make small changes. You know that this would eventually be accepted. Yeah, so I'll tell that too. Hacktoberfest is going on. Hacktoberfest is like if you make 4 pull requests, you will get a T-shirt. So Hacktoberfest is actually celebrating open source. So a lot of people add labels of Hacktoberfest. How to find typo issues? We need to read the whole code. Typo issues are everywhere, like mostly in comments. So like in Python, I think I found 4 to 5 typo fixes on that one day only. So just go and read the comments. Code is mostly correct because like if there is a typo in code, then it would not run. But in comments, there are a lot of typo issues. How will Hacktoberfest get to know we have made 4 changes? Okay, so Hacktoberfest actually add labels to the issues that are there in the repository. So I'll show you again. So let's say, so you can see that there are labels here, Hacktoberfest, Hacktoberfest, Hacktoberfest. And when you make a pull request, so you see Hacktoberfest accepted. So that's a label added by the person who has maintaining this. And then the Hacktoberfest people know that you have made a contribution. Yeah. And like it was the first time, and if you felt like a little overwhelmed by it, it was okay, right? And there were some problems, but they are not like really big problems. So keep doing it. And after you do it 3 to 4 times, it would be like really easy for you. And then you can actually start on the actual work, that is contributing to open source. And you can see in chat that you can join the Discord, and on Discord, whatever doubts you have, you can ask. Yeah, and website is like really good. So check the website out and uh, make your pull request. Firstly, try to make pull request here, and will you share the recording of this meet? Yes, we will. Okay. So that was it. Let's start with contributing to this Hello FOSS projects. And then you can like search for something better. Like you can search for actually really large projects like Zulip, Python, that kind of thing. Thank you for the session. You're really welcome.
And I think we can conclude this session now.
Yeah. So that was it. Thank you all for attending the sessions. So I suppose a lot of you have many doubts. So you can either mail me or you can text me, and you can contact WnCC conveners also. That is completely fine. Okay. So that was it. We will now end the meet. Thank you.
Thank you, Manan. Thank you, everyone, for attending this meet. The recording will be shared by evening. So you can, and the slides will be linked to the same. Thank you. We'll end the meet now.